Are you searching for ways to make circle time more fun and engaging for your preschool students? In today's episode, I'm going to show you step by step how to create a super fun and engaging circle time with a pets theme. But first, here's a quick disclaimer for our YouTube viewers. YouTube is very strict about the types of content that it allows on certain channels. Our channel is not intended for children to watch. Therefore, the content you're going to see today is designed as an instructional use for teachers and caregivers. Now that we've got that legal stuff out of the way, let's get on with it. The first thing I'm going to do is prep and gather all of my materials to make this amazing circle time come to life. Here is my container that I have filled with all the materials that I'll need for this circle time, and I'm going to go through everything that I have in this container with you. So the first thing I have is this picture of my cat, because this particular circle time is going to be focused on cats. Then we've got this original poem that I wrote, and I'm going to sing that with you shortly, but I've got the words just in case I forget them, because I make up poems all the time and then don't remember the words that I used the first time. I've got a book that I'm going to read aloud, but I also have other books to read during this theme throughout the week. I've got a nonfiction book. It's really important to always have, to pair your fiction and nonfiction so that you're getting a good balance of genres there. And I'm probably going to do the Three Little Kittens song at some point, nursery rhyme, at some point this week. So that's in there too. Now I have my mystery bag, and some of you have seen my mystery bag before. It was something I received in the mail. It came, something I ordered electronic came inside of this. Don't ask me what it was. I don't know. But the bag is really nice and shiny. I like to call it magician material. And it's got a drawstring on the top. And so I have loaded the bag with 3 items related to cats. Then I've got my orange pom-poms. They don't really look orange on the screen, but trust me, they're orange. And these are going to be some props that I'm going to use while I'm reading the story. And it also is the same color as my cat Ginger. So there's that. I have this chip clip, these little kitty cats. I think I got them at some kind of store that's similar to Bed Bath & Beyond, maybe the at-home store. I can't quite remember, but I have a lot of chip clips. I have 2 of these clear tubs full of chip clips. So I might introduce a song with this. I put it in here just in case. And then I have, let me put these things back. I created these really quick and easy paper plate masks for kids, and you'll see what I use them for shortly. I have 5 of these. I did black, orange, and gray. I didn't get fancy and do stripes or anything, and we'll talk more about how I did that later. So those are my props for circle time. And I also have my circle time game here, my circle time alphabet game printed out and ready to go in this pocket chart behind me. I forgot to mention that. I'm also going to have some things prepared and ready at centers to go along with our pet theme. Now, it's important to note that this is not the only way to do circle time with a pet's theme or a cat theme. There are many, many, many different ways to do it. This is just the way that I like to do it. And because I get so many questions about circle time, how circle time works, what do you do during circle time, I thought this would be one way to demonstrate one way that you can do it. Okay, so I told you I would show you how I made these little masks. These are just props that we're going to use to go along with the little song that I wrote. And to do this, I took paper plates. Now you could totally have the kids make one of these as well to go along with your Pets Theme Week. That would be fine. But I prepped this one. These are the cheap paper plates from the dollar store. And I painted this one orange. I know the orange isn't showing up well on the screen, but it is orange. I've got a gray one. I made gray paint by mixing black and white. And then I've also got a black one that's not shown on the screen here. I took these little pink pom-poms. I got these at Michael's. And I took some pink chenille stems or pipe cleaners, if you will, and I cut those up to create the whiskers. So now we've got the nose and the whiskers. Nose is pom-pom and whiskers are pipe cleaners. And I get pipe cleaners on sale during the like different sales at Michael's or when they have percentages off. And I also used liquid glue to attach the cat's pom-pom nose. And I tried using liquid glue to do the whiskers and I just couldn't get them to stick. And I figured if I'm having trouble getting them to stick, then they're going to fall off when the kids are using them. So guess what? I used tape. I know, shame on me. I taped those whiskers on. And then I traced around a cork. I used a cork and I traced the cork to make cat eyes. And then I cut out those circles. And then I used, in this particular cat, I used orange craft foam because that's what I had. And some pink construction paper. I know it looks white on the screen, but it is pink. And I stapled on the ears. And I did the same thing for the gray cat, but I just used an extra paper plate that I had and I painted his, I used paint and created those ears too. I don't have a template because I just freehanded everything. And guess what? The kids don't care. And then, I used a Sharpie to just make a little mouth. That's usually just a straight line and then a curved line to the right and a curved line to the left. And then a little half circle underneath for the cat's little mouth. You could even color the little tongue pink if you wanted to. Some people probably think that it might look like a rabbit to the children. And I say, yep, they might think that. And so if that were to happen, I would say that's a great teachable moment. And you could say, I can certainly think how you'd think that's a bunny. And let's look at the ears. And kitty cat ears look like this. And I would talk about this small triangle. And bunny ears look like this. And we would talk about the big triangle. And so I would say, and these are cats. And then if a kid persisted, I would say, well, we're going to pretend because we're good at pretending because we're in pre-K. That's what I would say. So there you have it. That's how I made the 5 little kitten masks that we're going to be using in this demo. So step 1, I'm going to start by introducing the topic of circle time using my class puppet, Allie. Now I didn't show you in the supply bucket the class puppet because the class puppet has a home elsewhere. Doesn't usually sit in my circle time prop basket. So this is a puppet that I only use for this purpose, for circle time and things like that. This isn't something the kids use. There's plenty of kid puppets out there. This is my puppet, and he's very, very special. And I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. We'll let him decide or her decide. We'll let them decide. And so now Allie is going to introduce this to us. So I might say something like this. Oh, Allie has something to say. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear what Allie has to say? I can't hear them unless you're ready and quiet. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, Allie, what is it that you wanted to say? Oh, you want to show us something. Is that so? Oh, well, look at that. Allie has... I hear something in the bag, Allie. Do you know what it is? No. Maybe we should look at... You think we should look inside? We should look inside the bag and find out. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Allie. I'm going to put Allie down. And now I am going to kind of bring some things out of the bag and show them, right? Now there's a couple different ways to do this. You could simply do it this way. Oh my goodness, what do I have here? I hear it. It sounds like what is this? It sounds like a bell. Oh, and it's round and it has these little shapes. And I don't know if you can see on the screen, but those are little fish cut out. So that's another telltale sign. So it's a ball, isn't it? Well, that's interesting. And I could go on and do that with the other things that are in the bag. So I also have a cat bowl. It says 9 lives on the front. That's how I know it's a cat bowl. And it's small. And this will be a great one. What is this? There's a picture of a cat on the front and it says tasteful. Tasteful? What do you think is in there? I see a pull tab on it. Cat food? Really? Okay. Let's see, you might be right. I wonder if that tells us something about our story. That's one way you could do it. Another way could be, I call that the good method. That's good. But another way could be, oh my, I feel something in here. It's round. Oh, and when I shake it, it makes noise. Do you hear it? You have to listen careful. I heard it too. Round. It's round and it has something inside like a bell. I wonder what it could be. Do you know something that's round? And let them guess a few times. And then you might pull it out and go, oh, so-and-so was right. If somebody was right, call them out on and say, you were right. It is a ball and it has a jingle bell inside. And you have, what is that you said? You have a cat and your cat has a ball like this? That's a clue. And you could go on doing the same thing with the other things in the bag. I call that the better method, right? You're kind of having them, you're describing it to them. They're listening to what you're saying, and they're kind of guessing. That's great. That's the better method. The best method would be to have kids come up, right? So I'm holding the bag. I have them close their eyes, feel around inside, describe what they feel. Now they're getting lots of oral language. Kids listen to other kids better than they do to us as adults. And so as the child reaches their hand in the bag, everyone's going to be A, wanting a turn too, and B, really curious about what their friend is going to pull out of the bag. So you can scaffold that for them too. What do you feel in there? What does it feel like? Is it hard or soft? Really? Is it round or is it square? How can you tell? What do you feel? And kind of prompt them. And then they can pull it out and they can show everyone. The other kids are kind of eager to have a turn to do this. Now there's only 3 things in here, so you can only have 3 friends. And so this is great for self-regulation, waiting for your turn, right? And then of course you have to prepare them of what happens in case they don't get a turn. That's okay, because tomorrow's another day and we can play a game like this tomorrow and we'll have plenty more turns then. So now that we'll pretend that we took all the items out and reviewed them with the class and let them guess and all that good stuff. And so now I might have all those items out and I might say, so what do all these things tell us? What clues? These are all clues. What do those clues tell us that our story might be about? What do you think? Is it about a dog? You don't think so? Why not? Oh, because dogs don't eat cat food. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Play along with them a little bit. I feel like teaching is sometimes 50% acting. So now, remember that picture of my cat that I showed you earlier? So I'm going to get that picture out and I'm going to say something like, I wanted to show you a picture of my cat. This is Ginger. And what does that say? That's her name. Ginger is her name. Yes, and look at her. What is she? Yeah, she's outside. She's laying in the sun. She's laying in a chair, in our deck chair. Can you believe that? She's so lazy. That's her name. Oh, yeah. That is just like the G in Gabrielle's name. That's very good noticing. This is my cat, Ginger. Has anybody here ever had a cat or petted a cat before? You have? Oh my goodness. Well, guess what? And of course, you can listen to a few children's responses because they're all going to want to say something about a cat. But when it gets to be too much, you can say, well, guess what we're going to do? Later on this week, we're going to graph our favorite pets. And that would be a great time for you to draw a picture of your experience with cats too. And now I'm going to grab those pom-poms. Remember I had pom-poms in my basket before? And so now I might call attention to Ginger's fur. So can everyone see Ginger in this photo? What color is her fur? Our pets have fur. This soft stuff right here is called fur, right? How does that fur feel? Does anyone know? Is it hard or soft? It's soft, that's right. Kind of reminds me of this pom-pom right here. Ginger's fur is orange and soft, just like this pom-pom. Would you like to hold a pom-pom? And so I'm going to get my pom-poms ready. I have a little bag of these in my Circle Time tub that I showed you. And I'm going to give each child an orange pom-pom. Okay? Now, you could do the same thing. You could use cotton balls. You could use them, just go for the feel of it. Don't worry that they're not orange. I happen to have like the world's largest collection of pom-poms in every color. So I buy them in bulk at Oriental. So I have a lot of orange pom-poms. I have more than enough for a full class. So I'm going to let each child in my class take a pom-pom and hold in their hand. And then I'm going to say, and now when I'm reading today's story, you can be pretending to pet a cat, right? You can pretend that you're petting Ginger using your pom-pom. Okay, so now during the read aloud, I will have their eyes engaged by looking at the pictures. I will have their ears engaged, listening to the words in the story. I will have their hands engaged, touching and feeling the pom-poms. Another thing you can do while I'm reading the story is make the sign for cat. Does anyone know the sign for cat? Yeah, we learned that when we read Pete the Cat, didn't we? It's this. So if I'm reading the story about the cat and I say the word cat, you can make that sign with your hands to let me know that you're listening. That's another thing you can do with your hands while I'm reading the story. We are ready to read the story, and sometimes I'll have the class puppet bring the story out. So you think the story is going to be about cats, do you? Let's see. Allie, are you ready to show us the book that we're going to read today? Oh my goodness, Allie, we're not supposed to put books in our mouth. We know, but Allie's a puppet, so there's different rules for them. All right, so our story today, I do see a cat. Were we right? Was this story about cats? We were right. So I'm not going to read the story to you on camera. I haven't received permission from the publisher. So I think this is an awesome book. This book is really cool because it talks about adopting a pet. And I'm a firm believer in adopt, don't shop. And it's also about this beloved character, Lola. If you haven't discovered the Lola series by Anna McQuinn, I highly recommend it. Lola is a little preschooler, and it's about Lola's life and all these really cool things, themes and so forth that Lola gets to do. I can show you a page from the book. So mommy says Lola can get a cat, and they decide how to adopt one. They decide they're going to adopt one, and you can see they're sitting together on the computer, which is a great thing. You know, if a parent is using like Pet Finder app, I love the Pet Finder app. I don't work with them, but I do love Pet Finder, and they can go on there. So that would be something really constructive to do with a child. And then they go to the shelter and they meet Jeremy, and he shows them 3 perfect cats. Another reason I love this book is because this used to be Tom. He used to work at the animal shelter, and he used to be the cat whisperer, and he would show all the cats, and he wrote all the cat descriptions. And so I really like this book quite a bit. It's all about choosing a cat and taking care of a pet, and what a responsibility it is, and how you can be a good pet caregiver. So I would read that to the children. I would do all the wonderful things. I would talk about concepts of print, do a picture walk, read with expression, do all of those wonderful things. That's not the purpose of this video. So you read the book of your choice. So after I finished reading the story, now it's time to sing my little poem or song or whatever you want to call it, finger play. And this is an original poem that I wrote. It's called 5 Little Kittens. And many of the original poems that I write are based on the tune to 5 Little Pumpkins, because it's super, super easy to do. And you can do it too and create your own songs. So this isn't, you know, something super difficult to do. Now, if this were the very first time that I was introducing this poem to my students, so let's say it's a Monday, it's the first day of our pets unit, and I've chosen to start with cats, then I might start out by demoing the little song for the children using the paint stick and the cats as visuals, right? Because now, whoops, this kitty cat has a pom-pom stuck. Because now I can put them on and take them off, and it just gives a little something extra to the lesson, right? So I could use this, and again, got the chip clips at some place like Bed and Bath or the at-home store. I got them in a place like that, I think. I'm pretty sure. I get a lot of my chip clips that way. Or maybe these were at the Dollar Tree, who knows? They usually just have ducks and ladybugs though. I could sing the little poem or rhyme or whatever it is using the chip clips. But today, let's pretend that I've already done this. Oh, I can tell that you want me to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it this way for you, the viewer. And then we're going to do it with the cat masks. Okay. 5 little kittens. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 little kittens. 5 little kittens laying in the sun. I'm going to teach them the little movements too. So we got to get those bodies moving. 5 little kittens laying in the sun. The first one said, "I'm ready for some fun." So you make noises, make voices. The second one said, "I want to climb a tree." So pretend you're climbing a tree. You can get the kids to stand up. "I want to climb a tree." The third one said, "Follow me." Then he goes running off. "Follow me." The fourth one said, "I want a treat." So I'm going to make the little motion to my mouth. "I want a treat." The fifth one said, "I'm ready to eat." And rub your tummy. So now we've got movements going on, right? With your little song. Then the mommy cat meowed, "I have some tasty fish." And the 5 little kittens frolicked to their dish. And there's some vocabulary words in here that are going to be a great way to teach this more complex vocabulary to little kids. And those 2 words are tasty and frolicked. So Mama Cat says, "I have some tasty fish." So you could ask the kids after the first time that you introduce this to them, what does tasty mean? Have you ever had anything that was tasty? What do you think is tasty? So you can talk about that. And then frolicked is a really good one because you can act out frolicked. Now, frolicked doesn't have a very set definition. It's more of a playful movement, right? Cats can frolic. They can roll and stroll and strut and all that good stuff. They frolicked to their dish. So you could talk about what frolicked means. They could act it out. That would be something you would do, after your first introduction to this. And then you could just say, remember, what does tasty and frolicked mean? This time, we're going to pretend that we are doing the second day or maybe the third day. And we're going to get out our cat puppet masks or our pet masks. There we go. And so now I'm going to invite student participation by calling 5 students up to hold a mask in front of their face. So I'm going to let them come up. Usually I let them choose the puppet because choice matters to them. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to call those 5 children up. Of course, you can choose them based on many different ways. You can say, I'm going to be looking for children who are ready, and whatever your definition of ready is. And then you can call those children up to choose their mask, and they stand in a line in front of you. And so you've got all 5 of your kittens standing in front of you, right? And they can each put their mask in front of their face. And then as you say the poem, and you count them, right? Because you're going to count them when they're standing in front of the class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to tap the shoulder of each one lightly as you go so children can see this child is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one. And then as you say the rhyme, the child who is that particular kitten, right? So the first one says, I'm ready for some fun. I think I forgot to show you that movement before. I'm ready for some fun. That child, you tap them on the shoulder and the child knows that they're the first one and they're going to say, I'm ready for some fun. Now, if they have a puppet or a mask in one hand, that might be, I'm ready for some fun. And everyone else that's singing along, that's in the audience, they're going to do the same motion, right? I'm ready for some fun. The second one said, I want to climb a tree. So I'm going to tap the second one on the shoulders, and that child is going to be holding their mask and then saying, I want to climb a tree, pretending to climb. And all the other children say it too. The third one said, follow me. And I make the follow me motion. And that child's going to do the same thing. And then all the children in the audience are going to do that. The fourth one said, I want a treat. And so they can hold the mask and do that. I want a treat. And the audience is doing the same. The fifth one said, it's time to eat. Then the mommy cat meowed, I have some tasty fish. And the 5 little kittens frolicked to their dish. Then you can let the audience and the 5 little kittens frolic. And if you have a dish, you can use that as a prop during this time too, and they can all frolic to it. Although if you have a large class, that might be a little overwhelming. So that brings us to the circle time game. Now, in some cases, you might be done at this point. If your kids are ready for a little more, if it's later in the year, if they're ready for this type of a game, then now would be the time to do it. Or you could do it in a small group as well. But if you wanted to do it during circle time, you could. So here I have this alphabet circle time game. This is the cat version, right? And I have all the letters of the alphabet A through Z in the pocket chart. And I have an uppercase version and a lowercase version as well. I chose to use the uppercase version for this demo. You choose whichever one works for you. And you also don't have to use the whole alphabet, right? So if you have your assessment data and you know that all of your class knows certain letters, then remove those and just work on the ones, a few of the ones that they don't know yet. Use that 70-30 rule, I think it is, where they know 70% of the letters and 30% are unknown. So you can decide how you want to set yours up. I have mine A to Z just to demo for you. And behind one of these cats is hidden a mouse. I had to remember what it was. Could have been yarn, it could have been a fish, I wasn't sure. It's a mouse because Ginger likes to eat mice. Not saying I'm happy about it, just saying it's true. And so now you can have them close their eyes or turn around because they love a good mystery. And while they're turned around or closing their eyes, you can be hiding that one mouse behind a letter. Now you could invite one child to do that too. I want to work up to that. Maybe this is the first time we've done this kind of a game. And then everyone uncovers their eyes or turns back around and now you're ready to play. And of course, you've shown them the mouse card. Let's see if I have one here. This is one. These are the ones I haven't cut out yet. There's 8 mice cards in the game. I have many of these games, and this one just happens to have a cat and mouse theme. And the things you can hide are the mice. I have 8 in here because you might want to hide more than one. And now I can invite them to guess where they think the mouse might be hiding. And so they have to use their words and their alphabet knowledge to tell me where that is. So I might say, Michaela, where do you think the mouse is hiding? And Michaela might say, under the M, because that's Michaela's name. And I might say, well, let's find out. Michaela, come on up. And then Michaela can pull out the M because she knows that letter because it is in her name. And we can see, was the mouse behind the M? No, it wasn't. Better luck next time. And we put it back. And now I'll call on someone else. And I might say, let's see, Erin, what letter do you think the mouse is hiding behind? And Erin says, let's see. Erin says the letter K. Okay, Erin, let's find out if the mouse is hiding behind the letter K. Come on up. And Erin comes up and he pulls the K out. Oh, he found the mouse. Yay, Erin. And now what I like to do is I like to take the mouse out. I give it to Erin, put the K back. I have everyone close their eyes and turn around. And now Erin gets to decide where the mouse is going to hide. And so he might come up here and he might say, point to the T. Well, everyone is hiding their eyes, or supposedly. And I'll help him if he needs it. Slide the mouse behind the letter T. And now Erin is the teacher. And Erin calls on kids to guess, right? Because now I've released control to the children. And now the children are playing the game. I'm here to scaffold for support. So Erin calls on kids to guess where the mouse might be. And they come up and they point. And, oh, and there's a little poem. I forgot to read the little poem to you. It says, kitty cat, hide and seek. Where's the mouse? Let me peek. And so each time I call on a child, we'll say the chant together. So Michaela, where do you think the mouse is hiding? She points to the letter L. And before I have her come up and take it out, we sing the chant. So we'll sing, kitty cat, hide and seek. Where's the mouse? Let me peek. And then Michaela comes up and takes the L out. Sorry, I forgot that part. I was so intent on getting the whole thing done that I forgot. The most important part is the fun chant. So now you've got some rhyming in there as well and keeping their mouths engaged along with their eyes, right? They're super motivated to chant with you these fun little rhymes. So now it would be time to dismiss the children to go to centers after we've played the game. The game lasts as long as you want it to, or as long as you notice they're paying attention. And then when you see interest starting to wane or things are getting out of hand, then it's time to cut the game short and say, it's okay, tomorrow's another day, we'll have another turn then, and you can play this game again tomorrow. So as I call them up to dismiss them to centers, because you're always going to follow your circle time, which is more of a passive type of an activity, you're always going to follow that with something that is, of their choosing, something they like to do, they get to choose to do, the more active talking with each other type of a thing, and that's center time. So as I call them up to dismiss them to centers, they're going to return their pom-pom to me. You could, if you wanted to, if you have a lot of these types of pom-poms and you don't mind sending them home, you could let them keep them and put them in their pocket or their backpack. And that's your choice. I like to collect them up so that I have my full set of pom-poms ready to go next year when it's time for my pet unit. As they're going off to centers, if it was the very first day that we were doing a pet theme, then I might remind them of things like this. Now, if you're going to go to the block center today, I have some pets in the block center for you to play with. Another thing, if you're going to be doing a pet theme, you're definitely going to want to have a dramatic play center transformed into a vet clinic. And so I have my own vet clinic here on the screen. You can see pictures of what it might look like. And so I would remind them that the dramatic play center is set up as a vet clinic this week, and I actually would probably give them a guided tour of all the things they could do there if it was the very first time it had been introduced to them, or I would have to make myself available to be in that center to kind of help guide the play that first time. If we were going to math or literacy centers now, because everyone's schedule is different, then I would also remind them that we have certain math or literacy games that go along with our pet theme as well. So there you have it, my top 5 tips for creating a super fun and engaging circle time with a pets theme. And when you take the time to plan for your circle time activities, you'll have much more success. So I know you're probably wondering how on earth I organize and store all of these circle time props. And the simple answer is I keep them all in a bag. I put as many of them into a single large Ziploc as I can. And I put that bag into my pets theme storage tub that I keep in my garage. So I have an entire garage filled with thematic storage tubs. And as much of it as I can, I keep in that bag inside the tub so that next year when the pets theme rolls around, all I have to do is open the tub and take out the bag with those props. It is a bit of a time investment the very first time you do it, but it really pays off big in the long run because then you're setting yourself up for success year after year. So I hope you got some great ideas you can take away and use in your classroom right away. Until next time, I'm Vanessa Levin. Onward and upward.